G'day everyone, Brian here. In Mark chapter 6 we read about Jesus walking on the water, arriving in the middle of the lake, in the middle of the night, or very early in the morning, to find his disciples. And they were terrified. And you'd be terrified if you were in the lake, in your boat, and you saw someone walking towards you. There shouldn't be anybody walking towards you at that time or in that place. And yet that's what they saw. They heard then the voice of Jesus crying out to them to say, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." And Jesus got into the boat with them. And then Mark says, they were completely amazed. It's one of the great biblical understatements. They were completely amazed. What else would they be? I'm not sure how else Mark could describe it, but it seems to undersell it. They were completely amazed. I would be too. But then Mark turns the dial from a wow to a huh? When he says, "For they had not understood about the loaves, their hearts were hardened." It's one of those biblical phrases that leaves me wondering, what is Mark talking about? What does that mean? And here's what I've learned. The loaves obviously refer to the feeding of the 5,000 that Jesus has just done earlier that day. And he had just a handful. He was able to feed 5,000 people. And so the disciples should have learned something from the loaves. What should they have learned? Well, I think from what I've read, others say too, that what they should have learned is that here is Jesus who is able to do things that shouldn't be able to be done. You can't feed a huge crowd of people with a handful of food, and yet Jesus has done that. In fact, they finished with more than they started with. And so the fact that Jesus has been able to bend those laws, maybe it's not surprising he can walk on water. And their hearts were hardened. It wasn't that long ago that they had experienced something similar on that same lake when Jesus, in a storm, cried out to the storm to say, "Quiet, be still," and the wind and the waves died down. So the disciples have seen Jesus show his power over water, wind before. And maybe they had forgotten that, or forgot to look back to that, or had forgotten to take courage from that, and their hearts were hardened. So I want to say to you, remember the loaves, and don't let your hearts be hardened. Remember the times that you've seen Jesus do something remarkable. He can do it again. Remember the times when you've seen something amazing, when Jesus has helped you through a difficult time. Believe he can do it again. Don't let your hearts become hardened by fear or by doubt. Take courage. Walk with Jesus. Don't be afraid. Have a great day today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.